Lena Hart arrived at Rowan's engagement celebration with a drained spirit and almost no expectations. A week of late nights at her marketing job in Portland had worn her thin, and by Friday evening she felt like a shadow of herself. Rowan's house glowed with soft amber lights, shimmering ribbons, and a gentle winter charm that made the rooms feel warmer than they were. Laughter moved freely through the space. People clinked glasses, hugged tightly. Shared memories. Lena lingered near the doorway, trying to gather the strength to merge into the joy around her. She adored Rowan, of course she did, but an empty space inside her pulsed quietly, refusing to be ignored. She'd been single for years, not for lack of trying, but because no one had ever made her feel truly understood. Her past relationships faded out like weak radio signals, leaving behind a loneliness she pretended not to notice. She had grown used to saying, "I'm good," even on the days when she was anything, but tonight was supposed to be simple. Celebrate her friend. Smile when expected. Leave early. Rowan spotted her almost immediately and rushed over with a hug that smelled like perfume and excitement. Lena raised a tired smile, promising she'd have fun. Rowan pressed a champagne glass into her hand, insisting she loosen up, then turned away to greet another guest. The champagne bottle rolled toward the edge of the table, and Lena reached for it at the same moment someone else did. A brief, electric brush of fingers. She looked up. In the noise around her dissolved. Standing across from her was Micah Wynn, the last person she expected. The one name from her past that still lived in a tender corner of her memory. Micah had been her closest friend in college. The kind who turned late-night study sessions into something warm, who made long bus rides feel safe, who always knew how to calm her storms without even trying. After graduation, life had split them apart. She moved for work. He stayed behind for opportunities of his own. Months turned into years, and silence replaced everything they once shared. She told herself he had probably forgotten her. It was easier to believe that than to hope. But now he stood right in front of her, holding the same champagne bottle, smiling like he had just stumbled across something precious he never meant to lose. "Lena?" he said, his voice touched with surprise. "I thought you disappeared to the other side of the world." Her breath caught. Emotions she had learned to bury rose too quickly. "Not quite," she managed. "Still figuring things out?" Micah looked older in the gentlest way, more grounded, more sure of himself, yet his eyes held the same kindness she remembered. A quiet stirring moved through her chest, familiar yet frightening. They stayed like that for a moment, hands still resting awkwardly near the bottle. Lena let him pour first, and when he handed her the glass, something inside her shifted. She took a small sip, hoping it would steady her. Instead, the moment only grew sharper. When she lowered the glass, she caught the look in Micah's eyes, not casual, not polite, but something that whispered, "I didn't forget you." Her pulse stuttered. She looked away, pretending the party needed her attention, when really her thoughts were anchored to him, and that was when she knew the most important part of tonight wasn't the celebration around her. It was that Micah was here. Later, they slipped out onto the balcony to escape the warmth and noise inside. The winter air cooled her flushed cheeks, and the glow of the city lights softened the night. Lena crossed her arms, not from cold, but to steady the emotions twisting inside her. Micah leaned against the railing like he'd done it 100 times before. She watched him, reluctant but unable to look away. "I always wondered what happened between us," he said quietly. Her heart lurched. He didn't sound hurt. "Just honest. We drifted so fast," he continued. "One minute we were inseparable, and then suddenly you were gone, and everything was quiet." Lena stared out at the lights. "I thought you were too busy," she said softly. "I didn't want to be in the way." He shook his head, disbelief slipping through his features. "You were never in the way. I cared more than you knew." The words hit her like warm shock. Years of swallowed feelings pressed against her ribs. He exhaled, looking down. I kept waiting for a sign from you. When it didn't come, I assumed stepping back was the right thing. Two people, both afraid, both convinced the other didn't care. A simple misunderstanding that cost them years. She let out a breathy laugh. Funny how two people can matter so much to each other and still end up strangers. His smile was quiet, bittersweet. Yeah, it's too easy to lose someone you never wanted to lose. A gentle stillness settled between them. For the first time in a long time, Lena felt seen. Before either of them could say more, someone from inside called Micah's name. He hesitated before turning, eyes lingering on her like he didn't want to leave. I'll be right back. He promised 3 quiet words. But they carried weight. When he returned minutes later, something in his expression had changed, like he had finally decided to stop hiding. Lena, he said softly, stepping closer. There's something I never told you. Her heart thudded. In college, I liked you more than a friend should. He swallowed lightly. Honestly, I think I was falling for you. The words warmed her and broke her all at once. He continued, voice softening. I asked you to dinner before graduation because I wanted to tell you, but you never showed. I waited longer than I should have. Lena closed her eyes. She remembered that night vividly, how she dressed up, panicked halfway there, and turned around because her feelings felt too big, too dangerous. I was scared, she whispered. I didn't think you could feel that way about me. Micah let out a breath, the kind that carried years. Silence makes people believe the worst. I thought you didn't want me anymore. She felt the weight of every missed moment press down on her. But then something softer rose. I didn't forget you, she said. Not once. His shoulders eased, a quiet relief washing through him. The balcony door burst open again, Rowan calling for a group photo. Micah gave Lena one last look, filled with unspoken promise. This isn't done, he murmured. Please don't leave. She nodded. And for the first time in years, her heart said stay. After the photos, Micah found her near the fireplace. He didn't say much, just offered his hand. Walk with me. She took it. Outside, the backyard was covered in soft snow. They moved slowly through the quiet night until they stopped beneath an old oak tree. Its branches outlined in silver. Micah turned toward her. His voice steady but vulnerable. I don't want to lose more time wondering what we could have been. Seeing you tonight made everything I tried to bury come back. I missed you, Lena. I missed us. Her throat tightened. I tried to let go, he admitted. But you're not someone I can forget. Her heart fluttered painfully and beautifully. She set her empty glass on the bench beside them. When I saw you tonight, she said, her voice trembling with truth she could no longer hide, I realized I never stopped caring. Not for a moment. Micah stepped closer, breath warming the air between them. You mean that? She nodded. I think I'm still in love with you. A breath escaped him, relief, wonder, something deep. He reached for her hand slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. For a long moment, they stood beneath the oak tree, holding the truth between them like something fragile and precious. Then let's not lose more years, Micah whispered. Let's start now. Even slowly. Even carefully. But let's try. Lena squeezed his hand, a warmth blooming through her chest she hadn't felt in years. I want that, she said softly. I want us. The party hummed faintly in the distance. Snow fell in soft flakes. The night felt quiet, sacred. Under that tree. Two people who once drifted apart finally stepped into the beginning they had always been meant to reach. And for Lena Hart, that was the most unexpected, beautiful thing to happen that night.